The Bufalino crime family, also known as the Pittston crime family, Scranton-Wilkes-Barre family, Northeastern Pennsylvania crime family, Northeastern Pennsylvania Mafia, or Scranton Mafia, is an Italian-American mafia crime family active in northeastern Pennsylvania, primarily in the cities of Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Pittston. History. Barbara and the Appalachian meeting in November 1957, Joseph Barbara held a National Cosa Nostra meeting at his Appalachian, New York estate. The meeting preceded the assassination of Albert Anastasia by a few weeks, as well as a smaller meeting at the New Jersey estate of Ruggiero Boiardo. The Appalachian meeting was attended by about 100 mafia heads from the U.S., Italy and Cuba. A raid by New York State Police caught many heads of families or their deputies. Many other family heads and their deputies were suspected of being present by law enforcement but evaded detection and capture. All those apprehended were fined, up to $10,000 each, and given prison sentences ranging from 3 to 5 years. However, all the convictions were overturned on appeal in 1960. Bufalino era. With Barbara's death in June 1959, the Mafia Commission recognized Russell Bufalino as the official family boss. Bufalino maintained a close alliance with the New York Genovese family. After Bufalino was imprisoned in the late 1970s on extortion charges related to the collection of a debt, his underboss, Edward Sciandra, became the acting boss of the family. Sciandra was aided in running the family by Captains Anthony Guarnieri, James David Ostico, and Philip Medico, Consigliere Remo Allio, as well as soldiers William D. Elia, Angelo Bufalino, John Rizzo, Angelo Son, and Joseph Sperazza. Bufalino was released from prison in 1980 briefly after serving his sentence for extortion. Towards the end of 1981, Bufalino was again imprisoned after being found guilty of conspiring to kill Jack Napoli, a witness in his 1978 extortion trial. Bufalino learned the whereabouts of Napoli, then in the witness protection program, and conspired with Los Angeles mobster Jimmy Fradiano and another man he met in prison to murder Napoli. Fradiano turned government informant and testified against Bufalino at trial. He was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment and released in 1989. Russell Bufalino died on February 25, 1994 of natural causes near Pittston, Pennsylvania. D. Elia's leadership. William Big Billy D. Elia became the new boss of the Bufalino crime family after the death of boss Russell Bufalino in 1994 and later, the retirement of acting boss Edward Sciandra. D. Elia started his criminal career in the Bufalino family in the late 1960s as Bufalino's driver after his late sister married the only son of Capo James David Ostico. According to the Pennsylvania Crime Commission, D. Elia was placed in the crew of Corporal Philip Medico. D. Elia advanced through the ranks of the organization rather quickly due to the natural attrition of members and indictments in the 1980s and 1990s. He took over the crime family's solid waste rackets and oversaw the traditional mafia rackets run by the members and associates of the family. D. Elia also attempted to replenish the aging ranks of the family with limited success. As boss, D. Elia worked with other crime families in New York City, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Florida, and Los Angeles. In the 1990s, D. Elia was linked to a money laundering scheme involving numerous northeastern Pennsylvania bookmakers, escort services, corrupt politicians, and associates of Russian organized crime. D. Elia was closely aligned with the Philadelphia crime family. When Philadelphia crime family boss John Stanfa was imprisoned, D. Elia was one of Stanfa's choices as interim caretaker of the family. On May 31, 2001, agents from the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS, U.S. Postal Inspectors, and Pennsylvania State Police executed search warrants at the homes of D. Elia, his mistress Jeannie Stanton, Thomas Joseph, and former Pennsylvania Crime Commission informant Samuel Cooch Marinka, seizing records in an ongoing investigation. Marinka has been identified as an informant working for the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police. Maringa also testified on behalf of authorities against Louis de Naples in front of the 4th statewide investigating grand jury in regards to Mr. de Naples' mob ties and his ownership of the Mount Airy Casino. Samuel Cooch Maringa also aided the Crime Commission in its investigation of Bufalino family member Joseph Detroit Sciandra and his involvement in the distribution of counterfeit designer clothing and sports wagering. On February 26, 2003, D'Elia was banned from entering any Atlantic City, New Jersey casinos by the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, based on information shared by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Pennsylvania Crime Commission. On May 31, 2006, D'Elia was indicted on federal charges of laundering $600,000 in illegal drug proceeds obtained from a Florida-based associate of the Bufalino crime family, among others including Lucchese family associate Philip Fipper Forgen. While D'Elia was free on bail, he solicited U.S. Customs Agency informant to murder a witness in the case and was remanded to prison until his eventual guilty plea and sentencing. In March 2008, D'Elia pleaded guilty to witness tampering and money laundering. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. D'Elia cooperated with the government and testified against Louis de Naples, the owner of Mount Airy Casino Resort in the Poconos. In 2010, D'Elia got 2 years dropped from his sentence for his assisting the government's investigation against de Naples. Current status. In 2012, author Dave Janowski interviewed former Pennsylvania Crime Commission investigator James Canavy, and according to Canavy, there is not a standalone family in northeastern Pennsylvania anymore. Canavy also said any remnants of the Mafia family would be aligned with the New York families. Historical leadership. Boss, official and acting. 1900–1903, Tommaso Petto, killed 1903–1908. Stefano Latorre, stepped down 1908–1933. Santo Volpe, retired in 1933–1949. Giovanni John Sciandra, died of natural causes in 1949. There is a common misconception he was murdered in 1940, but newspaper articles confirm he died of natural causes in 1949. 1949–1959, Giuseppe Joe the Barber Barbara, Sr., had a heart attack in 1956 and died in 1959. Acting. 1956–1959, Rosario Alberto Russell Bufalino, became boss. 1959–1994, Rosario Alberto Russell Bufalino, imprisoned from 1978–1989, retired. He died on February 25, 1994. Acting. 1975–1989, Edward Eddie the Conductor Sciandra, imprisoned 1981–1982. He received help from Anthony Guarnieri and William D'Elia. Acting. 1990–1994, William Big Billy D'Elia, became boss. 1994–2008, William Big Billy D'Elia. In 2006, he was indicted on money laundering. In 2008, he pleaded guilty and testified in front of a grand jury for leniency. Former members. James Ostico, served as underboss to Russell Bufalino, died in 1990. Edward Eddie the Conductor Sciandra, served as consigliere to Russell Bufalino, died in 2003. Angelo Paolizzi, served as consigliere to Giacomo Sciandra. He moved to Detroit and started the Paolizzi line of LCN figures in the Detroit area. Anthony F. Guarnieri, former Cooper regime, died in 1992. Frank Canone, former soldier, deceased. He ran a bookmaking operation in Binghamton, New York. Anthony J. Moscow, former soldier, he was active in Binghamton, New York. Moscow served 17 years in federal prison for racketeering along with Capo Anthony Gov. Guarnieri and other family members and associates. He currently resides in Arizona and Florida and has been seen visiting with family members and associates in the Pittston area in recent years. Frank, the Irishman Sheeran, former associate. References. Further reading. George Anastasia, The Goodfella Tapes, Avon, 1998. ISBN 0-380-79637-6. Charles Brand. I Heard You Paint Houses, Frank, The Irishman. Sheeran and the Inside Story of the Mafia, The Teamsters, and the Final Ride of Jimmy Hoffa, Steerforth, 2004. ISBN 1-58642-077-1.